So here we have engine number 3, and what this engine is trying to do is it's trying to keep, broadly speaking, a fixed position at the wrist joint, which is the yellow-grey joint that was just pointing up there. Now it does have expanding tolerances, so it's not totally fixed position, but ideally it goes to the same, it stays in position, and because that yellow joint, it can rotate about the long axis, it's got quite an ability to look around the world, hopefully without moving too much, even though, as you saw before, it needed to move to actually point in the direction it wanted. And how it's trying to explore is a series of points in a sphere. So you can see that there it's pointing down the way. And you can also see that the robot is imaging a little bit more underneath the ramp as well. So the original view was what we saw after running engine 2, and this is running engine 3, which is reasonably quick because it's not using the LiDAR, so it's not doing that additional, well, the LiDAR's obviously running, but it's not trying to spin the wrist to use the LiDAR, it's only relying on the depth camera to view the world. So as the arm spins, you can see that that joint pretty much comes back to the same position each time. It does have a bit of variation. I think it's about 30 centimeters if allowed it to move each way, which is actually quite a lot in the context of the size of that robot. But I have restricted the orientation so it'll point in the directions that I want. So I've sacrificed a bit of position for the sake of having good orientation. So this is a more accelerated version of the same thing, and you can really see more easily how that joint is just staying pretty much in the same position, and how we're trying to explore the world in a series of different directions. And you can imagine that more clearly as looking inside or looking at points around a sphere. Now you'll see, as you can see, the arm does move around a little bit, and that's because of those expanding tolerances that we discussed. But it starts at its tightest tolerance, and then it expands them, so it doesn't go into a wide tolerance unless it has to. As you can see, it didn't really image the world that much more than engine number 2 did. So what we'll do is we'll just spin the robot, and we'll put the arm out in front of it and see if it can do a slightly more better job there. As you can see, the robot creeps forwards ever so slightly, and that's because I haven't given the wheels very much friction. And you can see it images under the ramp reasonably well there. And that's what I was saying about the friction.